We're not going to go just there. But he said, as in the days of Noah and as in the days of Lot. So let's deal with the days of Noah and see what was going on in the days of Noah. So let's go to Genesis, the 6th chapter. Did you have a question or a comment, Ezra?
Comment is real.
Yeah, go ahead.
You know, California passed a law, state law, that the schools have to teach homosexuality as a norm.
See that? So what Ezra just said, that California passed a state law that the teachers have to teach homosexuality as a norm. And it has to be widely accepted.
And the law was presented to the state legislature by two individuals. One was a lesbian, one was a homosexual. The lesbian lost. The homosexual won, and this is the law that he wanted to introduce, but she said he stole it from her.
Now, how recent was this?
This is the past their last election for this office, but I heard this information this week.
So the information came. So those in the viewing audience and in the present audience, go ahead and Google it and check it out.
Check it out.
That's a hot topic. But we're going to deal with the days of Noah, and we're going to deal with the days of Lot, and then we're going to see if the prophet was right in what he said. Because if Yehoshua is who we believe he was, then what he's saying is going to be true, right?
Okay.
Because the non-messianic, they don't believe in the Messiah.
No.
So if they don't believe in the Messiah, then what would be their basis or their ground for what's going on today? You know, what would be they, what would be their reasoning for what's going on today? What can you find that in Scripture? You know, that will point to these times. Genesis 6 and 1.
Bereshit, book of Genesis, chapter 6, verse 1. And it came to pass, when men began to multiply on the face of the earth, and daughters were born unto them, that the sons of Elohim, B'nai Elohim, saw the daughters of men, that they were fair, and they took them wives of all which they chose. And Yahweh said, My spirit shall not always strive with man, for that he is also is flesh, yet his days shall be 120 years.
So the 120 years, help me out, Israel. The 120 years is when the Father decided that he was going to do the countdown of taking his spirit away.
That's what it was.
Right. So sister said that he was talking to Noah to build the ark. So he gave mankind, in other words, 120 years
Get themselves together.
To get themselves together before he sent the destruction.
Exactly.
Because, remember we talked about before destruction comes warning, right?
Right, must.
So here goes a warning right here. So the Father said his spirit is not going to strive with man, and then the man got what? He said 120 years. Because man was doing something that what we read over in Matthew the 24th chapter. How did that verse go? As in days of Noah?
Before the flood.
Before the flood. So there was something that went on that caused the flood. So another flood is coming, you all. That's what the whole moral of this here lesson is all about. There's a flood coming, and it's coming real soon. All right, next verse, Israel.
Verse 4. There were giants in the earth in those days, and also after that, when the sons of Elohim came in unto the daughters of men, and they bare children to them, the same became mighty men, which were of old, men of renown.
Now this right here is up for great debate, because when it says they were giants, people don't believe that was literally physical giants. But I submit to you that was.
That was.
That was literal giants. In the Hebrew, it's called Nephilim.
Nephilim.
So Nephilim is a word for in physical statue. And we're going to back all of this up with Scripture in the 66 books that you have. And there's a teaching out here that says that the children is the sons of Seth mixed with the daughters of Cain.
Daughters of Cain.
You have no way of proving that. Who's to say that Seth kids and Cain kids weren't already mixing in the first place?
Come on.
Where you get that from?
The imagination of their own heart.
That's exactly, which was influenced by the great deceiver himself. Satan, the devil. So it says, there were giants in the earth in those days. And also after that.
Didn't David go up against a giant?
Oh, see, we're going to talk about, because that was the giant after.
That's right. After the flood.
After the flood. So in those days, there were giants. And then after the flood of those days, there also were giants. But something produced these giants.
That's right.
How did these giants get produced? And a lot of that stuff is going on even right now today. Didn't Solomon tell us that there's nothing new under the sun? So what was done before is going to be done again.
That's right.
And it's going to be done again in such a way where you know that it's almost identical, like we talked earlier. A mirror image. All of the children of Israel captivities were so similar that if we was blindfolded and you woke up either in the Babylonian, the Syrian, or the American captivity, you wouldn't even really know right offhand which one you was in, because the treatment of the people was so similar. You know, okay, just like the days of Noah, the days of Lot, and our days. The days are so similar. If I put a blindfold on you and spin you in a circle, and you woke up in one of those times, Noah days, Lot days, or in our day, for a few minutes you couldn't figure out which era of time you was in, because they are so similar.
If Noah was here, he would begin to warn us.
Yep.
Telling us a flood was coming.
He probably run to Home Depot.
Shit him wood.
Yep. Noah probably get some hammers and be up at Home Depot with a pencil in his ear. I'm telling you. Working it. Because the days is so similar. I mean, you all remember when the congressman was in the bathroom tapping his foot, and they having, that's a sign of homosexuality, sex relationships, you know. And remember, we talked about maybe a couple of years ago of this drive-by, they call it drive-by sex, where homosexual men will go on the internet and they would say they would meet up in public washrooms. Remember I did that lesson about 2 years ago? Now, that was going on during the days of Lot. You know, we read books like, help me out, Yasher and different ones. It talks about in detail how they were having sex in the public.
Yep. It was regular. It
was a regular thing, homosexuality. That's going on even today. These clubs, you know, all that those are public places.
That's right.
That, you know, that homosexuality is so normal now that it's not even. You can talk about homosexuality more than you can talk about polygamy. You talk about polygamy, you might catch a couple of blows or a couple of bricks. But you can talk about homosexuality, you'll get embraced. You know,
that's a strange creature there.
Ain't that something? You know, I ain't down with polygamy, but you got 8 husbands. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's funny you make that point. This Miss America lady, you see how they bash her because
very good.
That's right.
Right.
That's right.
Because
a marriage between a man and a woman. Oh, they tear her
they show is ripping her apart. Yep. But that's a great example of the days of Noah and Lot and today. And this nation,
mainly coming from the Democratic Party.
Yeah, the liberals. Yeah, go ahead, Emma.
Don't forget the lesbians.
Them too. Because what the man do, the woman go right behind him. You know, the word, I think lesbians, don't it come from the island of Lesbos or something like that?
Dang.
The island of Lesbos. So that's supposed to be some kind of island where I think they get the mythical character Xena from.
Yes,
that's right.
You know, the island of all of the She-Ras.
Yeah,
yep.
Wonder Woman and all that.
Yeah, the strong women. The island of that was the Greek mythology, wasn't it?
Yes, it was.
That's where Wonder Woman come from.
That's Wonder. She came from the same island, huh?
Mm-hmm. All of them kicking it.
And if you see Xena in real life, I think she was about 5'6". But they had in the movie as if she was a giant.
Yeah.
You see the similarity? She was a giant. And you know, the scripture tells us about laying with men laying with men, women laying with women, and men and women laying with animals. You know, this bestiality. Oh, that's a norm too in America.
Is that where the Amazon concept come from?
Yep, Amazon. Yeah, the big Amazon. Exactly. And so we got another example of human beings sleeping with animals. And all that is forbidden in Torah.
And that's on YouTube.
But